Hi, Jeff Lindsay, Senior Minister. I want to update you about what's happening with the Blessing Initiative. You know, the Blessing Initiative, where $1 million was set aside to empower some of our own congregational members' ideas that they had about doing good for Christ's sake. $1 million set aside. How did all that start? Maybe you can't quite remember. You know that this is happening and you probably have been praying about it, but how did that start? Well, 2 years ago, we embarked on a process of reformation. We went through a process of reforming who we were, and out of that reforming process came 5 core values. We gathered the congregation together and we said, hey, this is what we believe are the core values going forward. If that's so, what should we be doing with those? How can we best represent them in our life as a church? And you gave us some great feedback, some great ideas. And one of the things you said is, let's do something good with that money that's in our foundation. Let's do good for Christ's sake. And that launched a group of lay people who have literally spent months and months and months, hours and hours and hours, gifted, accomplished, generous people who have helped us put together a process, develop a list of candidates, figuring out how we can whittle that down to those initiatives and those blessings that will help us move forward missionally in the life of this church. You're going to find out who those people are, those ministries are, and then I hope that you will prayerfully consider how you will invest your time and energy, how you'll get involved in helping us to further the work of this church and to do good for Christ's sake. So bless you as you think about that, pray for that as we go forward as a church.
Hi, Colonial Church. Sarah asked me to talk a little bit about what the vision and dream was for the Blessing Initiative when we originally decided to do it. And it was after reforming, and we were looking for an idea to engage and energize the congregation. And we knew that Innovate had done that, and we wanted to give away some of the money from the waters. So we decided to use a similar structure to Innovate, but what we wanted was one that wasn't necessarily for outside social entrepreneurial ideas, but for congregational members to share their passions with the church. So we developed a similar process to that of Innovate, only we had champions and people who were passionate about their ideas within Colonial. And we wanted those organic ideas to come up and then decide on which ones we felt hit the 5 core values and which ones would engage the church. And we've done that. We're at the final point where we're going to unveil them here, and we are just really excited. We had some really great ideas, and we feel like that we really whittled it down to things that will engage the church, which is what we wanted in the first place, was high engagement in these passions of Colonial. And we wanted them to be things that Colonial was about, and I think we did that. So I hope you'll be as excited as we are, and we'll get engaged in these ideas. Thanks.
After having spent months dreaming and planning and praying, the Blessing Initiative was ready to launch, and then COVID hit. All of a sudden, everybody was on lockdown. You remember what it was like last spring, trying to figure out how to work and go to school remotely, wondering if we needed to disinfect our groceries, downloading something called Zoom. It became clear that just living our lives was going to take everything we had. It became clear that people simply were not going to have the bandwidth to be able to complete Blessing Initiative applications. So, reluctantly, we postponed. With a new timeline, applications opened in mid-September, shortly after Kickoff Sunday. COVID also changed the way that we communicated with you about the Blessing Initiative. So many of the ways that our community has traditionally shared news simply were not available. There was no bulletin to put an announcement in, no in-person information sessions or meetings about an idea. You couldn't even share your excitement over coffee and a bagel in the common. So we used what was available, a combination of old school and new. We mailed you a brochure last fall, and Jeff became a remarkably realistic and surprisingly funny Jay Leno in a kickoff video.
Welcome to The Tonight Show. Here's your host, Jay Leno.
We put information on the website and in the e-news and answered questions by phone and email. Even now, our plan was to host a big community event to celebrate these amazing ministries. Instead, you'll soon receive a packet in the mail about these blessings that we hope will excite and inspire you, as well as a ballot members can use to approve and affirm them and give a bonus to their favorite. Next month, you'll receive information about the larger initiatives for your approval and affirmation.
Hello everyone. As you all know, through the winter months, the Blessing Initiative team has been developing a process that we plan to unveil this spring. At the beginning of March, the health and economic crisis our nation and the world faced was becoming more intense. And by the final week of March, unemployment claims had reached 3.3 million. I went to our weekly meeting carrying a deep burden of sorrow for all the suffering in our community. I felt a strong call to do something. It was clear to me that our team needed to respond, but I wasn't sure how. I decided to see what the temperature in our group was before saying anything. We started with a time of checking in for each of us. When it was my turn, I felt that sense of call once again, and I spoke out. I told everyone about the sorrow I was carrying. The world was different now. We couldn't continue to move forward as if nothing had changed. We needed to act with more urgency and boldness. We are a blessed people. We have so much to give. We could do something, although I didn't know exactly what. It turned out that everyone else was feeling the same need. So we discussed the difficulty people might have applying for grants in this time. We also talked about the initiative from the ministry action team for missions and the staff to dedicate $100,000 for immediate needs in our community. And then the idea came. Why not double that amount and give an additional $200,000 to these same ministry partners? We took this idea to Paul Bertelson and his team and asked if they thought these same organizations had the capacity to accept a larger gift. Paul talked with each one of them, and he came back with a beautiful proposal. This was exactly what I had imagined.
Hi everyone, this is Wendy Senior. I'm spending some time with you today just reflecting on the moments of the Blessings Initiatives. And we had so many great ideas to be doing it face to face. And we had so many great plans, and then COVID and the restrictions that we were under, we had to change course. So we came to you with our first moment where we taped the late night with Jay Leno, and Jeff Lindsay was our star. And it was so much fun putting that together. But what was more fun was at Kickoff Sunday, shortly thereafter. So many of you watched it and said it was fun and you had questions, and so we felt like we reached you even though we weren't face to face. And here we are, it's moment number 2. And this is where we're unveiling our blessings. And here we are, it's moment number 2. And this is where you are going to be learning more about our blessings, and you'll be getting information in the mail. Our third moment is February 21st, and that's where we will unveil all of the initiatives. But the fourth moment is going to be the best, and that's when we're going to be all together here in person, and we're going to have a celebration about everything of Blessings Initiatives, everything about this community, and everything about this church. And that is the one I can't wait for the most, so I can't wait to see you then.
I'm Steve Anderson. I was the leader of the screener team. The screeners were the first wave of review after the applications came in. Our idea was to have as many different looks at the applications to then reach a consensus. So after the applications closed, the screener group, which included me plus 10 others, looked at the documents submitted. We had required significantly detailed applications, so the 11 of us individually, and by that I mean separately, reviewed them and ranked them according to some criteria we had agreed upon previously. So we had agreed on written criteria. We had 3 broad categories: a compelling idea, church fit or engaging the church, and then feasibility. Is this something that could be done? So each person individually ranked on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and then came up with an ultimate number for his or her review. Then when we were all done, the program averaged the scores of all the screeners and then gave each application 1 number. We then, of course, ranked the projects according to those numbers. And as it turned out, there was a logical gap after the top 9 and then the following 20. So we decided 9 would be the appropriate number to send on to the next step. We hadn't been given any instructions. We just thought, all of us collectively thought, this was a good group. So then we passed it on to the researchers, and our work was essentially done. And the researchers engaged in in-depth consideration that really wasn't possible for us to do using another set of eyes. So that's where we ended up, and that was how we started the process.
Hello, I'm Jason Phillips. I was part of the researcher team for the Blessing Initiative. It was our task to take the pool of finalists that were put together by the screening team and do a really deep dive and do due diligence on each of those potential partners to really evaluate their fit with our congregation, the feasibility of the projects they were putting forward, and most importantly, the ways for us to engage with them on an ongoing basis as partners. And so our team was able to get to know each of these organizations. We had detailed applications and plans that they put together with budgets and timelines. But most importantly, we got to hear from the Colonial members that were sponsoring these organizations. And then we got to talk to the people, the leadership of the organizations as well, to really understand their passions and their plans and their vision for making us a part of the work that they're doing. And we are so excited to share them with you. What you'll find with each of these organizations, they are all doing different things in our community, but they're all really good things. And most importantly, they're doing really good things for people that need it a lot, particularly now during COVID. And so what you'll see is that these folks have hearts for Jesus, and there's just good work that we can partner with. I think you're going to be really proud of them. Some of them you know and will have seen around as mission partners in the past, and some are going to be brand new. But all of them are doing good work that we can be proud of, and work that we want to be part of, and that will engage the world around us and outside of our doors. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Teresa Reiling, and I'm here to talk about Moment 2 of the Blessing Initiative process. And I've been involved in this and have had the privilege of being involved in this since it started almost 2 years ago. And I just wanted to let you know that already we've had over 75 members of our church have an opportunity to participate and contribute their skills and time to this process over hundreds and hundreds of hours. So I'm super excited to let you know today that you're going to be receiving sometime in our mail this week, information on moment 2 of the process. And that's where, out of the 9 candidates who rose to the top through our vetting process, 5 of them are going to be highlighted in the information that you get this week. So take a look at that and see which one out of the 5 you think, after you read through all the information, would be worth getting an extra bonus, which is $5,000 extra towards their specific initiative. So check your mail this week. Make sure you look for what's coming from Colonial Church on the Blessing Initiative, and take time to let us know who you think should be the special recipient of this extra money. Thanks so much for your participation.
Hi everybody, my name's John Seberg. I'm your moderator. You know, on this whole Blessing Initiative, Council's role has really been to stay in touch with what that great team has been doing. We've been fortunate to have a few different Council members who have been part of that team. So it's not been a stranger to us, but our ultimate role has been to approve and affirm the outcomes of that team, the process and the outcomes. I'm delighted to say that we've now done that. We have approved and affirmed both the process that they used as well as the slate of awardees that came out of that process. And you know, those words really don't do justice to it. We are so proud of that team and so grateful to that team for not just all the hours, which were many, going back over 2 years, but also for the skill sets that they brought, the heart that they brought, and they totally embraced the goal of not only doing good for Christ's sake, but creating pathways of engagement for every one of us in the congregation in one way, shape, or form for those awardees. So we're delighted. Can't wait for you to see the rollout on it. And once again, I want to thank the team very much.
Hi, I'm David Engelbert, a member at Colonial. We are so excited to culminate this long process of the Blessing Initiatives with really exciting news. Watch your mailboxes. Next week, you'll be receiving the blessings, which are so important, and these are going to be fantastic additions to these organizations. And then next month, we've got the big initiatives coming, so get ready for that. Thank you for being a part of this, and we really look forward to you supporting and helping us in these endeavors. Thank you.